What's up, Stripe Nation? Blake Albertson here with B&B Lawn Care. So, the pond is all finished. That is what you guys are gonna see in this video. Absolutely epic. But I had to give a real quick, here's a quick shot before we start the video. Had to give a huge shout out to Aquascape. They're the ones that put on the event, made this thing happen, and also a huge shout out to Siteone Landscape Supply. I wanted to show you guys real quick, they're launching a new Siteone online site. And all of this stuff, we worked with them of course, but all this stuff was ordered from my phone. I just want to show you, you can pick the sizes, everything like that, how many you want. It has all the information here that you literally need to know. Let's just choose one. Oh, I gotta select some options. So perfect. Tells you the price. There we go. So let's just go to the cart. I have slow internet. Anyways, it loaded. So we went to our shopping cart here. Just go ahead. We chose 4 of them. Has your total here. Now watch. This is where it's an absolute game changer for you guys. You can choose to have it pick up. Everything will be ready for you at your Siteone location, or delivery. And then watch this. I don't want to show my I don't want to show my address. It pops up on here because that's where we got it delivered. But basically addresses will come up. You can choose where to ship it. You can choose the date, the morning, the afternoon. Literally have a message, hey, I want it dropped off on the curb, I want it dropped off in the driveway, blah blah blah. Click agree, continue, and literally as easy as that is, a couple buttons, instead of having to go in, wait in line at the location, like all this stuff, like that isn't, it's like Amazon for landscape supply. So they're an absolute, both of these companies are just awesome to work with. They were nice enough to be a part of this project and just help make some awesome content and a beautiful pond for us. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you like and subscribe.
A little different.
That is so cool.
What's up, Stripe Nation? Blake Albertson here with B&B Lawn Care. Welcome back to part 2 of this Aquascape ecosystem pond. We're putting in some boulders, filling it with gravel, making sure everything is stable, ready to go.
Catch them, couldn't catch them.
And we're gonna have this thing filled up with water in this video.
Okay, so now it comes time to put in the underwater lights. Like Kevin just pointed out, you know, sometimes it's just super hot, it's 85 degrees out and humid, and it just kind of skips your brain there and you forget about this one, the most important light. And when you're doing the design consultation, you're helping design a water feature for the homeowner, the #1 question you should ask your homeowner is, hey, when do you guys work? The typical answer is, oh, we got banker hours, you know, 8 to 5. Oh, then we're gonna need underwater lights inside your pond so you can enjoy it not only during the day, but at the nighttime. That's my favorite time. You get out here, the lights automatically kick on. It's an LED bulb, it's gonna last you forever, but it just adds a whole new element to the water feature. The fish are gonna dance and dart through the beams of the light, and it's gonna come through the lily pads and the leaves. This 3 watts gonna shine all the way across there. So what you wanna do is you just wanna tuck it into the wall and in between rocks. The biggest thing that I want to tell you guys about, the one step you want to make sure of, is have it shining away from the main viewing area. If this is the seating area back there, the last thing I want to do is have a nice natural glow of light shining right into their eyes, right? So have it shining down the pond or away from the main viewing area. Secure it in place right there. You can use this cool pedestal that we have on this Aquascape LED light right here, or you can snap it off, pull it off, and you can lock it in a little bit closer to the wall to where you can hide that beam from anybody getting shined right inside of the eyes. So I'm gonna lock this place into here. The next thing I want to show you guys, that's a brand new product from Aquascape in 2019. It's an Aquascape pond power head jet. So a jet pump allows us to push water using a propeller across and away from a dead zone. This thing, we're almost gonna nickname this thing the koi treadmill, because we've seen koi get into this powerhead jet right here, and they'll get right into the face of it, and you'll see them just kind of wading and swimming like salmon fishing, swimming upstream. They love the fresh current on their gills, and they love just swimming inside and outside of it. The little ones, they allow the current to take them in and out of the water feature, and this powerhead pump is designed to get locked in between boulders, and it has a lot of porosity around the outside, so it's not gonna get clogged up with debris, and it's a propeller, and so means it's gonna push outside this jet, and we can angle this head any direction we want. We can have it blow higher to the surface, we can have it point down to the center area here. Let's say a lot of leaves maybe don't quite make it through into the skimmer box. We can have this point down in here and it will flush it all up in there. You can even in the wintertime put it flush on the wall or on the flooring like this, have it turbulent and bubbling up for your fish to have good gas exchange in the wintertime. Does not come in the kit, but I tell you, it is well worth the enhancement to talk to your customers about adding this new feature into your pond. So this is usually Greg Whitstock, the pond guy's job. He shows up to job sites right about now and then starts washing it down, but as soon as that hose hits that water, we do a couple little finishing touches, but then we know it's lunchtime. Sometimes during hard digging, it could be at 12:30. During easy digging, it could be at 11:30, but it's critical that this pond is dug, lined, and filling by lunchtime. Even during lunch, something is happening. If we didn't start filling until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, what happened to our one-day pond?
Might be a day and a half.
Might be a day and a half, and our profit is slashed in half. So it's critical. Take the extra 30 minutes. Sometimes you're digging this entire pond with pickaxes, right? Sometimes you get hard days, you get easy days. You never know, it all balances out. But regardless, it all comes down to about 45 minutes between the easiest day and the hardest day. dry fitting the waterfall stone coming in right now. The biggest thing I want to point out about setting your waterfall stones, there's a couple of things you got to think about, okay? How wide or narrow I want my waterfall, and the style of waterfall that I want to do. Right now I'm mostly thinking about how much water do I need to come over this stone to give me the desired look. Well, that's all determined by your pump size that's inside your skimmer. The desired flow for a waterfall coming into a pond is about 1,500 gallons per hour per foot of waterfall. You guys with me? So if my pump does 2,000 to 4,000 gallons, it's a variable speed pump. I, as the artist, have to remember 1,500 gallons per hour per foot out there. So if I have 4,000 gallons coming through a 1 foot wide area, it's going to be jamming pretty good.
Gusher,
yeah, it's going to be gushing like a canyon style waterfall. But if I double that, now I need 3,000 gallons per hour. Now my waterfall is going to be a little bit more subtle, not gushing so much. And what I also want to point out is the rocks that you use. If you have waterfall coming down over here and coming down over here, water naturally hugs a round stone. So you lose a lot of your velocity, a lot of your pressure. To whereas if I had a straight drop off, like a piece of slate, then it shears off of it and it falls off of it. So you need less water to do a single sheet waterfall, and you need more water to do a rounded boulder waterfall. Does that make sense? We'll get a little bit more into that when we hook up the pump and then we build this top waterfall here. But right now, we're gonna dry fit these stones so we can drape our streamliner into the pond like shingles on a roof. No seaming is involved unless you have a 6-inch waterfall drop coming into your pond, or for that matter, throughout your entire stream. You just overlap them like shingles on a roof, okay? But if you don't have 6 inches, you better look to the more advanced technique. Go online to Team Aquascape, learn how to seam your liner together. But here, it's gonna be simple, easy peasy. We're gonna overlap the liner behind these stones, but over our pond liner about 12 inches, and then the rest of it will come on up here. We're not hooking anything up yet because we still have to shape and excavate this, but Kevin needs to finish dry stacking his fall, so we gotta drop this in right now. This is a 10 by 10 streamliner. On small waterfalls like this, if you have a 5-foot waterfall, double your liner, okay? You wanna go to 10 feet, okay? Because you want a couple of slack, a couple of feet of slack coming down into the pond. You wanna be wide enough. As you get longer, the more streamliner you're gonna need for extra length.
So I don't have a lot of angular rock or anything here left, and typically we work with a little more stuff with edges and everything. So what I'm gonna try and do, just because this is a little round here and I'm not really finding the piece I want the water to actually kind of come through right here, and I'm making the high point of the rock here in the middle to where you're almost gonna have two fangs to a degree, just because that's gonna give us a little more effect than the round rock right there. So we're gonna pull these rocks out, lean these all forward, and drape our waterfall liner in behind there, and then just make sure that your pond liner stays up vertical during that process and you don't tuck that down with you while you're doing that, because you're gonna screw everything up.
Now let me talk about building a waterfall and the techniques to building a simple waterfall. Every good waterfall in nature is balanced by two structural big rocks. Mother Nature erodes away soil and embankments, right? Finds her own path with water coming downhill. And on the cliffs and the mountains, she's eroding away the same rock side, right? It's just she's eroding a path in between boulders. So the left structural rock and the right structural rock should be similar in height, similar in shape, similar in color. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to have one indigenous stone on your left and a completely non-indigenous stone on your right. So balance them. Your structural rocks are set first, to the width of that 1,500 gallons, or how wide you want your waterfall. Structural rocks, intermediate rocks coming in between. This is considered a waterfall rear rock. Your intermediate rocks are just everything in between. Got it? Cool. Okay, so we're making sure this stays up. I'll hold it. You want to them in.
Cool. Good. You're good. Good deal.
Our structural, our foundational rocks are in. Left, right, balanced pretty good. That intermediate rock's gonna set down right in here. We're gonna tuck it. And the cool thing about this is we're gonna get a waterfall light right underneath this. So what he's talking about is almost a split fang waterfall or two horsetails coming off of either side. This entire area is just gonna be illuminated. It's gonna pop. That's gonna look awesome.
You want to finish getting these edges in?
Yeah.
Okay. We like this one here or this one?
You're designing and you're installing a family of pumps, a family of product, Aquascape Pondless Waterfall, or the Aquascape Ecosystem Pond. All of the color or all of the collars will match now. Okay, so you send a maintenance guy, every skimmer he looks into, it will be the same unit. Every pondless vault he looks into, it will be the same unit. Every aqua basin that you see in front with the fountain landscape kit will be the same unit. That matters down the road, because if I Frankenstein this with a bunch of Napa plumbing parts, you know, and I go in there and I just make it work because it saves me 50 bucks, is it gonna save you 50 bucks 3 years down the road? When you gotta hacksaw it off, you gotta replace it, you gotta go get these couplings. So what happens is your maintenance guy that you're paying to drive over here has gotta take a picture of it, send it to you. What do? You gotta send it to Home Depot, he's gotta come back, that's a half a day right there. So it's important that you set these ecosystem ponds up as if they're your own, and you gotta maintain them throughout the season. So this particular thing, this collar and fitting, I do not need to thread, put silicone on these threads. I'm simply gonna come on the inside of this, of the bulkhead fitting, and it's gonna thread inside just for this. Make sure it's clean, make sure everything's good. Thread that on. This part, make sure it's tight. Thread that right on top of that pump, please. Yeah, go ahead and tighten that up. Make sure it goes in there even. You don't want to cross thread it. 2. Pretty tight right there. Now this pump is going to go right down into it. Again, you can loosen this collar. You can spin this up. Make sure that's tight. Loosen this up and you'll be able to slide it to where it fits right fine underneath the filter mat rack. Slides right down in there. No cutting, no sizing. You thread it down and it fits nice and snug right into each other. Put that collar right on. The great thing about the Signature Series Skimmer 1000 right here, we can close this door right here. Normally we'd be working underwater. You can close this door right now and it would suck dry during the season. We can hook this up right now. We got a filter mat back there. We got this Metalla filter mat. All of these little porous holes that you see in there will grow beneficial bacteria and then also trap any large debris that may fall through the skimmer basket. Go ahead and lay that down in there. Fits right around. Snugs to the shape, right to the back side of it. Cord comes right up and out. We got the basket right over here. This is the large debris basket here. It's durable, it's got a handle, super easy to clean out. So when this silver maple here drops all its leaves, you know, in the fall time, you're gonna come out here, Blake's literally gonna close that door, the pump's gonna suck this dry, he's able to scoop the leaves out, or just take the entire basket out, put it in a compost pile, put it right back in there, but everything's clean, easily accessible, good to go. Handles in there, baskets in there. We can go ahead, open up this skimmer lid. And all the water starts flowing in there, and now we can really set our water level from when the skimmer starts filling up right there. You can already see with no pump operating, you see it's skimming all the time. Right now it's pulling all that debris in. That's what the skimmer's designed to do. It's a mechanical filter that will skim the top of your pond almost just like a vacuum and pull all of your floating debris right in there. And this is the health of your ecosystem, right? You're pulling and pushing all the way through your system right there. And then we have this awesome Aquascape faux log right here. Serves many, many purposes. Today we're gonna use this one to go ahead and conceal the front side of our skimmer like so. You can plant moss on this. The other thing that you can do is you can build a waterfall out of this. Rather than that rock being like this shape right here and we got water coming here, you can flip this and use that waterfall to kind of backfill and come right up and over this log as well. You could also use this thing to put in the back side of the biofall to where you can conceal the top side of the biofall. Indestructible. It will never rot on you. There's a drain hole in here. This is the little brother. We got a big faux rock too, a large faux rock here. These little enhancements are the last 10% that separate yourself and put you in the top echelon. Stuff like this is what homeowners really don't understand, but will come to appreciate when it comes to naturalizing the shorelines of their aquascape ecosystem pond. Okay, so here we are. We're just finished up the best part of the day, which was lunch. We dug it, we lined it, we rocked it, we filled it, all before lunch. You can see we could probably use one more drain and clean, but it's not so bad. Once this circulatory system starts firing up on the Aquascape ecosystem pond, it will clear up within 24 hours. I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. And so now starts when you break apart as a team and you start doing the last 10%. We got Chris Lombardo over here of Aquascape. He's gonna walk you through the automatic dosing system, hooking that up. That's an automatic treatment system that takes the guesswork out of it. That's gonna put in the right amount of bacteria at the right time. So it eliminates the guesswork and avoids cyclical cycles, you know, cycles that go up and down of dying bacteria, living bacteria, dying bacteria. That eliminates that. We got our master certified aquascape contractors. They're gonna teach them how to shape out a stream and build a waterfall up in there. We're gonna bring in some soil, level all of this, and then we got a landscaper over here. He's just gonna start placing plants. We're gonna drop those in the ground. I bet you, what time is it? What do we got here, Blake? It's about 1 p.m. We're gonna have this baby fired up, ready to go. 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. here, and stay tuned. We'll get right back to it.
Is that enough? Yeah, that's better. Maybe similar to when you're hooking up your skimmer, you want to make sure that you're not pressed really tight with the liner, because when you're going to set the rocks up and everything, you're going to be pulling on that and giving it a little stretch. So we just like to put a little bit of slack beneath that there. And then we're actually going to do this slightly different than the skimmer. We're going to set up 2 pilot holes and just start the screw. You don't need to thread it in very far, you just need to get it through your liner. Pull this out like this. And since we're going to be fitting this in backwards, I want to go ahead and cut this out right now so I can turn this faceplate around and shove it in there. Now you can see my faceplate. I can just take this thing after I put the silicone on there and just slide that right up and start doing all the screws. So this just kind of gets you set up to where it'll be a lot easier. Make sure your faceplate is nice and clean. Oftentimes during the process you get some dirt or something on there, so you want to make sure you're not sealing against the dirt. And you're just going to do the U all the way around, back up the other side, just connecting along the screw holes.
Yeah, so it's one of those template tile. Which you use the custom tower top there. Yeah, so it
feel like they're not threading in at all, don't just force them. If you cross thread these, you can actually strip out the grommet in the back, and the grommet will begin to spin. So if it ever feels like it's resisting you, just stop it and back off. So what we have here are the bio balls. These are basically just biomechanical filtration. It's a place for the media to colonize at. So basically we want to just create as much surface space as possible. We used to use things like lava rock for this, but the lava rock kind of gets plugged up over time. So this is just a much more efficient way. It's a lot easier to clean out, and it just gives a good place for the bacteria to colonize within the biological filter unit here.
7 tons of stone that was delivered this morning on the street. We had 3 yards of dirt and 3 yards of mulch and $5,000 worth of installed landscaping, and here we are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and what we've covered: dug, lined, rocked, and filling by lunchtime. We hit that. That's the #1 goal on the job site. Then we broke up and we worked as a team, but we broke up individually and we accomplished edging. We learned building waterfalls by a master certified aquascape contractor. The final 10% of building an aquascape ecosystem pond, and here we are at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the Army that you guys provided. I appreciate you guys supporting Aquascape, our brand, and coming out and learning how to make more money at this. For that, I give you guys a round of applause. Appreciate all your hard work. So the final last steps, the final step 19 and 20 is clean up, right? We all did that, we tackled that, and that comes down to everything, right? That comes down to sweeping up and blowing the dust off of the curb. That comes to picking up stone and pebbles out of grass. And that's when Brian will go over with the homeowner, the welcoming kit. Dan, you hand me the welcome kit right behind you. This is just the little extra stuff that the Aquascape Ecosystem Pond provides you to give to your homeowner. So it's a welcome kit like this. You present it, you pull the homeowner out before they're about to plug it up. You open this up and you say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, just to get you started, here's a welcome kit on benefit of me, which would be Good Earth here. We give you your first bag of fish food pellets. We give you your own lifestyle. I love, I'm living the Aquascape lifestyle mug. It's kind of cool, the little things. We give you your starter bacteria. Even though we have the automatic dosing system, it's not a bad idea to kind of dust your waterfall with this. And if you want to learn more about maintaining and living the Aquascape lifestyle, we give you a USB here filled with inspiration, filled with how-to, filled with maintenance right here, so you, Mr. and Mrs. Albertson, are not left in the dark when we leave here, because from here on out, it's only going to get better. And then we pull Mr. Albertson right out and we hand him the golden ticket. And this is when we bring out the homeowner. We make sure that we tweak the waterfall, everything's looking good, and we're gonna hand him over the remote. Mr. Blake Albertson, B&B Lawn Care, here you go, buddy. This is the golden ticket. Ooh. This right here is a power button. It's gonna turn it on, it's gonna crank it on, turn on the waterfall. For the first time, you are about to experience, my friend, living the Aquascape lifestyle. All right. You ready?
Here we go.
It's coming up, crank it up. Go up all the way to 10, okay? Oh. Look at that. What do you guys think, huh?
Awesome.
You guys did a phenomenal job. So step 20, what do you think it is? When you're out there, Brian's walking through all the dosing systems, showing them the skimmer box, talking about the biological filter. Our guys, they're not waiting in the truck, waiting for Brian. Come on, it's been a dog day. Brian will even have them grab out the weed eater and edge. If it takes 30 minutes to leave a lasting impression for your homeowners, you get more jobs from this. Because Mr. Blake, or if he was a regular homeowner, all of his neighbors, this is going to be the place where he hangs out, where he gathers, where he brings his friends and family, and they're gonna ask, who created this? Who did this? I need something like this. So it's the last 10% that matters before we ask for step 20, which is what?
Get paid.
Yeah, buddy. And so it's all about, right now we get paid, we collect 50% to book the job, to get on our calendar. 50% as soon as we plug it in, we clean up, we do everything that we promised we would on that contract and then some before we ask for payment. Cash, check, charge, whatever it may be, we get it done and we're out of here 3 o'clock. I don't know if it's been a smoother build-a-pond day than this. Honestly, out of my 23 years of doing this, it worked pretty flawlessly, did it not? The last bit, in 24 hours, this will be crystal clear. We have some Aquascape Rapid Clear filter mats that you can also purchase, leave inside the skimmer box, and it will filter out this fine sediment, but this will be crystal clear. Your lily will pop up in a couple of days here, and he will be fully living the Aquascape lifestyle, brother.
Thank you, everybody.
I hope you enjoy it.
Awesome.
All right, one more clap. Now we're gonna follow up. There we go. There it is. Woo! Good job, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, the craziness is ended. Build a Pond Day has ended. It is complete. Look at this Aquascape ecosystem pond. It's running. Plants are in. Everything's filled in. And what do you think, Chris? It looks just amazing. It makes me just smile, honestly.
Well, you know, it's hard to describe what even you, a professional, or what a homeowner goes through after seeing this thing turned on. It's harder to describe the chaos that goes on throughout the day, right? It's a build-a-pond day. We got 15, 20 contractors out here working as one, and it has one common goal, man, to give you a slice of paradise, to help you live the Aquascape lifestyle. And I told you this earlier, this was one of the more efficient, smoothest ran build-a-pond days that I've ever been a part of out of 23 years of doing this. It was just perfect. It was good. And yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it, man. It turned out awesome.
It did. So what, can you kind of tell people, and myself as well, what is something like this? We kind of talked about it when we did the Fountainscape, the urn in the front yard. If you guys haven't seen that video, we did that back in, November? November.
Yep.
So what's the pricing look like on this? I mean, what are some of the add-ons? Is it the lights that you are adding on? Is it the plants? Do you guys always do the landscaping around it? What does that look like?
Sure. Well, Blake, whatever floats your boat, man. Now, back in Chicago, Team Aquascape, we are just the pond guys, right? We don't do landscaping. We don't do, you know, anything. We don't do electricity, right? You don't ask your roofer to put up your drywall kind of thing. We're just strictly the pond guys, but majority of our contractors, our customers out there, certified Aquascape contractors, they do it all, right? And that's just the dressing, right? That's just the enhancements that come along with it. So your main course is the pond. Everything after that is an enhancement. You said it, man. The landscaping, the lighting, you know, whether it's in the pond or out of the pond. You have the automatic dosing system. You have the power head pump that's down in there that's going to push this, you know, dead area there. You have just all this filled with enhancement type stuff. And so you go bare bones, you're absolutely satisfied and happy and blown away. Just, you add all the enhancements, it's just, you know, it's just gravy. That's all it is, man. It's just getting the experience for you, for the homeowners out there.
So what would this pond run for a customer?
So for a homeowner or for a professional?
For a homeowner.
Okay, so for a homeowner, you know, it's hard to tell. It varies from across the country, right? I don't pretend to understand your overhead. I don't pretend to understand someone's overhead in California or New York. We talked with Good Earth today, you know, Kevin and Dan, and their pricing's a little bit different than ours. We would send 5 guys out. We would conquer this in a single day without landscaping, right? 5-man crew out there conquer this in a single day as our standard 11 by 16 pond, and we would charge right around $8,000 for it. Dan was saying we would charge right around $10,000 for it. You know, they don't run with 5, they run with 3. They may take a little bit longer, you know, they may take 4 days rather than just 1 day, you know, but it's the skill, the craft that you train for years. I mean, at Aquascape, between Greg, Ed, Brian, Hansen, myself, Dave Kelly, I mean, all of them out there, we have over 150 years, I would guess, experience that gets wrapped up into what you see here today. We're able to do it in a single day because we've been doing it so long.
Right.
Your contractors that you saw here, your new friends, are able to get it done in 2 days or 3 days. But it's understanding and following the 20 products and the 20 steps that help you become efficient to get it done in a day, frees you up to doing creative stuff like this. So you're looking ballpark anywhere from, depending on where you live, 7,000 to 12,000. You know, it just varies.
And then you know, as a contractor can, you know, offer the landscaping around it, offer the lights and the power heads and things like that. And it's just like any other form of landscaping or hardscaping, and you kind of figure out your own niche and add on things from there that you think you're capable of.
You know, adding on things, you know, whether it's done during the consultation and people buy into it, and so you know, you're good at telling a story and expressing the value of those enhancements. A lot of enhancements happen too the day of, right? A lot of time, like Chris Hansen and Brian of Team Aquascape, they're out here and the homeowner's seeing the controlled chaos, right? You get several emotions from a homeowner. You're cool as a cucumber all day. I was talking to you earlier, and you said, man, I never had any doubts. But we have owners, would you believe if I told you we have homeowners that almost come to tears?
Right.
They seen their backyard just blown up, right? And just look like chaos, and they don't see the vision at the end of it. But then they start seeing it come together, and then you start asking them, you know, remember I talked to you about those pathway lights? Remember I talked to you about that log over there? You know, we got it on the trailer, and this is, now that you can see a little bit of it, this is the benefit of it and how it'll help you down the road. And they would say, do it. If you got it here, please do it. So yeah, you get the main course and then all the enhancements after that just bring joy, and homeowners just get into it. They love it.
That's awesome. And you guys do build upon events throughout the year, right? Just like today.
Yeah, so today was a regional event. You know, through Aquascape. You can find it on aquascapeinc.com. Go to our regional events page, and it will list off everything from Florida to Kansas City to New York to California. We run these all the time. Hopefully there's one coming to a neighborhood near you, but aside from these hands-on events here, you can get a lot of stuff from our Aquascape Online Academy, from our Aquascape Hands-On Academy that's held in Chicago during the winter months, typically January, February, March, and April. If you're a tradesman, a professional, Pondemonium, you get it all under one roof, so to speak. You come out, you get your hands dirty, you go in a waterfall building contest, you build a pond, you strap up rocks, you learn how to be a foreman out there, running a crew. Then you take classrooms to learn how to market yourself. I would not be surprised if you're out there teaching a vlogging class, you know, out there getting your name out there, brand recognition. There's several steps you can take after you put in one. The number one way to learn this though, man, and I'm so excited to see your growth, you're gonna live with it.
Right.
Every backyard you go into now, you're gonna be handing them an Aquascape brochure and telling them your story and what you got in your backyard. And you'll bleed the passion. They'll see your enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you yourself own one, that's what every contractor needs to do. Live with it. Understand it. If you're gonna screw up once, two, your third pond, do it in your own yard. Right. Because once homeowners ask, oh, you know what can I expect from this? What kind of birds come into these ponds? You can say, well, in my pond, I get robins and blue jays and orioles in my pond.
Right.
Or you know what my favorite time of the pond is with all the lights. You know, you're speaking from experience, hands-on experience.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
And you guys do vlogs. The Team Aquascape and Greg also travels around the world looking at ponds and things. So that's another good resource to go to.
Greg Whitstock, the pond guy. Team Aquascape or channels you can follow on YouTube. Greg is out there. You got to understand this guy. He's you know, been doing this since he was a teenager. I mean, 12 years old, really. You saw a couple of kids here, hard working. We need more kids like that getting into it, but he's been doing this since childhood. He just wants everybody in the hobby, whether you're a professional or you're a homeowner. Follow his page to get inspired. If you're a professional, follow Team Aquascape out there. Visit aquascapeinc.com's website. If you have a specific product, you got to see a video of how the automatic doser system is put on. Follow our Aquascape Ponds channel. So we have several avenues you could take to get inspired. Yep.
Yeah, the coolest thing I think about Aquascape, not only the products and all this, but they are just so willing to help. Like you and everybody at Aquascape, it's just, that's what I've seen over the past year, and it's crazy. I mean, everybody's just so open book.
It's a franchise without the franchise fee, right? Yep. And we're in it for the long haul. You know, I help you succeed, I succeed. You know, right. You help others get what they want, you get what you want. You know, is what the pond guy always says. And so he just wants everybody to get into it. So we practically give the information away, right? That's it.
Absolutely. Chris, thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to Aquascape, Siteone for making this all possible. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later.
Peace.